Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Kanto 6, Chapter 12, Vritrasura's Glorious Death, verse number 8. Lokaha sapala yasye me shvasanti vivashavase dvijaiva shicha baddhaha sakala iha karanam. All living beings in all the planets of this universe, including the presiding deities of all the planets, are fully under the control of the Lord. They work like birds caught in a net who cannot move independently. Purport. The difference between the Suras and the Asuras is that the Suras know that nothing can happen without the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the Asuras cannot understand the supreme will of the Lord. In this fight, Vritrasura is actually the Sura, whereas Indra is the Asura. No one can act independently, rather everyone acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, victory and defeat come according to the results of one's karma, and the judgment is given by the Supreme Lord. Karmana Daiva Netrena. Since we act under the control of the Supreme according to our karma, no one is independent. From Brahma down to the insignificant ant, whether we are defeated or victorious, the Supreme Lord is always victorious because everyone acts under His directions. These are the verses spoken by Vritrasura. All living beings in all the planets of this universe, including the presiding deities of all the planets, are fully under the control of the Lord. They work like birds caught in a net who cannot move independently. So the fight between Indra and Vritrasura is going on, and this chapter is entitled Vritrasura's Glorious Death. And this verse is showing how realized Vritrasura is. Although in the body of a demon, he knows, he has understood that everyone is acting fully under the control of the Lord. How do we all act under the control of the Lord? Are we not independent? So we have some amount of free will, which is the small, minute independence that we have. But actually, misusing that free will or not misusing the free will, utilizing the free will in the service of the Lord, which is what we are actually meant for, we are meted out with some reaction or some result. So if I act rightly, I get pious results. If I act wrongly, I will get bad karma. But who is awarding me this good or bad? That good or bad is being awarded to me by the Supreme Lord. So in that sense, we are all under the control of the Lord. Prabhupada explains this in the purport. Therefore, so it's a battle that's going on, Now in the battle, there can be victory or there can be defeat. So, I may think that I am responsible for my victory or defeat. If I fought nicely, I win. If I'm not able to fight as well as the opposite, as my army, I lose. So it's finally I didn't fight as so well, so I lost. So it's, I am in charge of my victory or defeat. Generally that's what it is. But here Prabhupada is writing very nicely, therefore victory or defeat comes according to the results of one karma. If you do good things, you will be victorious. If you do bad things or if you do sinful actions, it'll result in defeat. And then he writes, so therefore victory and defeat comes according to the results of one karma, and the judgment is given by the Supreme Lord. So we act under the control of the Supreme according to our karma. So this is an important point, that we are actually completely dependent on the Lord, because it is finally the Lord who's giving us this victory or defeat, but it is based on our actions. So whatever, in other words, whatever is happening, so here also it is mentioned in the purport, so a devotee knows that whatever is happening to me in my life, I deserve it because I am the one who created it, and now it is being given to me by the Lord. So if the Lord is giving it to me, that means that is the desire of the Lord. Just like you see the Supreme Court, the judge sitting in the court. Finally, we all have to go by his direction. Whatever judgment he passes, we have to accept it. Whether you win or you lose, you are being controlled by the judge who's giving the directions. So that is what is being explained in this whole purport, that all living beings in the planet, including the presiding deities, including Brahma, including everyone, are fully under the control of the Lord. So the purport starts off, Prabhupada is talking about the difference between the Suras and the Asuras. The difference, or what is the difference between the Suras and the Asuras? Is that the Suras know that nothing can happen without the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the Asuras cannot understand the supreme will of the Lord. So this is the basic difference between the Suras and the Asuras. Suras know that if anything is happening, whether good or bad, it is the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very important consciousness that a devotee should develop, and if we have this understanding, then there will be absolutely no lamentation in life. Forget about spiritual life, even in material life there will be no lamentation, to say nothing of lamentation in spiritual life. Because generally we lament because we think, oh, this happened to me, this should not have happened to me, why Krishna, why God made this happen to me, I did not deserve this. No, whatever is happening to you, be peaceful, be satisfied, because that is what the Lord desired. So something that is happening to me cannot happen to me without the desire of the Lord, because I am part and parcel of the Lord. The Lord loves me, and so the Lord sometimes punishes me out of love so that I am on the right path. Just like a child is always carefree because he is fully surrendered to the parents, and he knows that my parents know my well-being, know what is good for me, and I simply have to surrender to my parents. So here, the difference between the Sura and Asura is Sura, whatever is happening, happily takes it, happily welcomes it, because that's the desire of the Lord. So he knows that the Lord is always acting every moment in his life. Actually, this is not just for a devotee. It is even for a non-devotee, even a materialist, the Lord is acting and the Lord is giving him things that he deserves. Thing that he has created. That is his destiny. So the Lord is granting him what he deserves. So that way either his karma is reducing, or he's getting some lessons, or if it's something good, then that's a blessing anyway. And as we know, the Lord's killing is also a blessing, because all those whom the Lord killed got liberated. So here, Prabhupada writes something very interesting. In this fight, who's Sura and who's Asura? Indra is the Sura, Vritrasura is the Asura, Vritrasura is the demon. But here Prabhupada writes, in this fight, Vritrasura is actually the Sura. And Indra, whereas Indra is the Asura. How Indra becomes Asura and Vritrasura becomes Sura? Because of this consciousness. So whether I am a demon or demoniac, whether I am a demon or a devotee, it depends on my consciousness. It depends upon my thinking. It depends why Hiranyakashipu, why Ravana, that their thinking was demoniac, so they were demons. Prahlad, born to a demon father, Hiranyakashipu, is a devotee because his thinking is like that, a devotee. In the Bhagavad Gita, I'll just read 2-3 verses. There's a whole chapter dedicated to this, the divine and the demoniac nature. So here we are talking of demon and demoniac, divine and demoniac, Asura and Asura. So, who are divine, Sura? They have these qualities. So by these, we can read them and we can know, to what level, where we stand. The Blessed Lord said, this is chapter 16, the divine and the demoniac qualities. Fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performances of sacrifices, study of the Vedas, austerity and simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding. These are all some very important ones. See, aversion to fault-finding, simplicity, compassion and freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, freedom from envy, freedom from passion, and freedom from passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to the godly men endowed with divine nature. And what are the demoniac qualities? Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness in our talks or harshness in our behavior, ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. O son of Pritha. And then he says, O Pandu, do not worry, for you are born with the divine qualities. The divine qualities, transcendental qualities, are conducive to liberation, whereas demoniac qualities make for bondage. So you see, Sura or Asura, generally, it is the consciousness which makes us divine or demoniac. Because he's saying, Arjuna, you do not worry, you are born with divine qualities. So here, why is Prabhupada saying that Vritrasura is a devotee whereas Indra is a Asura, because there's some specific things. The one thing is that here, as it is said in the purport, a devotee or a divine, a person with divine qualities is always thinking that everything is happening by the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, if you see, Indra, another way by which we can understand a demoniac means he's always thinking of gratification and material enjoyment. Right? That is a demoniac's thinking. I want to enjoy, like Hiranyakashipu wanted to enjoy. So here Indra, why is he in this category? Because Indra is just thinking how I can get back my kingdom and enjoy heavenly pleasures. He's only thinking of material things, material prosperity. He wants to gain back his material wealth, material opulence, material position. But Vritrasura is not thinking like... So Indra wants to live and wants to enjoy. Whereas Vritrasura, he is thinking, let me die. Because after death, I am going back to the spiritual world. He is thinking of the Lord. Vritrasura is thinking of the Lord, whereas Indra is not thinking of the Lord in one sense. He is thinking of his position. And another reason, look at the faith Vritrasura has and the faith that Indra has. In fact, the faith that Indra doesn't have. Indra first threw a weapon, the club, which Vritrasura took it and immediately smashed it. And now, Indra has the next weapon, which was that trident, which was prepared according to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now Indra is doubting whether, now this is a different weapon from the club. The club was his own weapon, but this trident is a weapon that has been prepared under the instruction of the Lord. So Indra is doubting whether this weapon will act or not. The Lord has told you how to prepare it. It's directly like the Lord's weapon and you're doubting it. Suppose a child is given something by the father. Do this, you take this and do this. Will the child ever doubt? There's no question of doubt that will even arise in the mind of the child. Because he knows, okay, my father has given me, it will work. And Vritrasura, on the other hand, he's telling Indra, throw that weapon at me. Why are you delaying? Why are you doubting? Do not worry, this weapon will act. How will it act? It will kill me. And the moment it kills me, because it's a Lord's weapon that is killing me, I will go back to the spiritual world. You see the faith that is there in Vritrasura? And that's why Prabhupada says he is a devotee. So actually, this is the position of a devotee. He is always fearless. Vritrasura, we know his previous life, he was a devotee, Chitraketu. And when Chitraketu, when he was, moving around the universe, how it happened, we know that background. When he was moving around the universe, he came across Mount Sumeru, where he sees Lord Shiva and Lord Parvati. They were embracing each other, and they were in the midst of sages. And the offense that Chitraketu did was, he smiled at it. He laughed at it. He shouldn't have done it because it's no ordinary personality. It is Lord Shiva and and Mother Parvati. And because Chitraketu laughed at it, that why is Lord Shiva, in the midst of all the sages like this? So Mother Parvati got very angry, and Mother Parvati curses Chitraketu, and it is because of that curse that Chitraketu has taken the body of Vritrasura. Now imagine Mother Parvati cursing, and he becomes a demon. What a curse. But because Chitraketu was a devotee, he was fearless. Because he knew, and then he spoke. There are many nice verses where Chitraketu, he's fearless. He says everything is happening by the will of the Lord. So why should I be fearful? This curse which has been given to me by Mother Parvati, yet it is as per what I have acted, and the Lord has sanctioned it. Nothing can happen. If Mother Parvati has to curse, that is also as per the sanction of the Lord. So you see, this is the devotee's thinking. If we can live with this consciousness that anything that is happening to me is being given to me, is happening to me because the Lord desired it and I deserve it. And for a devotee, as we know, as Prabhupada says, it is given in a very, very small portion if it is something bad. But even if it is whatever it is, because we don't understand that it's a small portion, we always think that small portion to be a big thing. We do not know that if that small portion would have actually been a big thing, how big it would have been. We do not realize that. So then Mother Parvati is surprised. I cursed him and he is not worried. Chitraketu is not worried. How come this curse has not affected him? He's just taken it in stride. So then Lord Shiva is praising Chitraketu, telling Mother Parvati how devotees are completely transcendental and they can tolerate any reversals in life because they are firmly fixed in this understanding that this is the Lord's desire. So if it is the Lord's desire, why should I worry? I worry because I think that whatever bad is happening to me, why did God make it? It is somebody made it, and why did God make it happen? No, it is God only who has awarded this. Suppose our seniors tell us something. We so happily execute it, isn't it? Because I know it's coming from the seniors. Oh, it's coming as a blessing. So in the same way, Shiva is praising Chitraketu's position with this verse. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati swarga apavarga narakeshu tulyartha darshinaha. He says, Narayana parasarve, one who are fully dedicated to Narayana. Narayana para. So this consciousness will actually come when you are fully devoted to the Lord. As long as we are not fully devoted to the Lord, this fear will set in. This anger, all the demoniac qualities will set in. So we must know that actually in Krishna consciousness, the only solution is to become completely Krishna conscious. Then we will be completely peaceful. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati. He is not afraid of anything. See here, Vritrasura is telling, throw your trident, Indra, and let it pierce me and let it kill me. See, he is not afraid of death. Generally, if somebody is killing us, we'll run away. No, please. Or we'll take a weapon and fight. Of course, he was also fighting but he knows that club he could fight back because the club was a club of Indra. But this trident he cannot because this is the trident of Lord Vishnu. And he's fearless. Death, he's facing death and he's telling, please throw your trident. See, this is the position a devotee attains. A pure devotee. Swarga, whether he goes to heaven, Apavarga, whether he is liberated, Narakeshu, or he goes to hell. Tulyartha, everything is equal. How heaven and hell and liberation is equal? Because a devotee is fixed in chanting the Lord's name, in thinking about the Lord, in meditating about the Lord, and he knows that my position in heaven, hell, or liberated, wherever I am, that was the desire of the Lord. So if it is the desire of the Lord, why I have to worry? Lord has given me. Just like Bali Maharaj. When Lord Vaman put his feet on the head and he went to the Patal Loka, very happy. We know that pastime where sometimes devotees were arrested in the West in the initial days of preaching in Australia. They were arrested and they were put in the prison. So Prabhupada would tell them, why you have to worry? Our business is chanting Hare Krishna. So if the police arrests you and takes you to prison, you should be happy. In the prison, you can sit peacefully and chant Hare Krishna. See, even Prabhupada is having this consciousness, is thinking like this for the devotee. And devotees also actually went and they were chanting Hare Krishna. And when the jailers saw, these devotees are least afraid, least bothered. We have put them in prison, but they are happily chanting Hare Krishna. And after some time, they got freed. So this is the conviction of a devotee, that everything that is happening to me, I am a part of Lord. So the Lord is in direct control. Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavad Gita in the beginning, one passage, that to the extent to which a devotee surrenders, Krishna directs them. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. To the extent to which you have surrendered, Krishna is directing you. But if you have become Narayana Parasarve, if you have become fully devoted to the Lord, then Krishna not directs you. He directs you to your amount. He directs you to the level, to the extent to which you have surrendered. So if you have surrendered fully, Krishna directly controls your senses. Directing you to the proportion to which you have surrendered is one thing, and directly controlling your senses. So all my senses, I am doing some actions, or I am speaking something, I am doing something, I am doing this, I am doing that, everything is directly, Krishna is doing it. See how wonderful it is. Right now, our senses are being directed by my mind, and mind is my enemy. So right now I am being directed by an enemy personality inside me. Imagine if you're directed by God. Directed by God means God is speaking to you. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved graham indriye sevan mukhehi jivado swayameva. So when Krishna directly, Krishna is directly revealing everything to you. So here, Prabhupada further writes, no one can act independently, rather everyone acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'll read one nice passage about how we think we are independent, but actually how we are constantly dependent. And how, I will read this passage, it's a very nice passage. Person is thinking that he is independent. Never, never, never. That is his insanity. As soon as he thinks that I am independent, that is another insanity. He's under control. Just like the same man, he is thinking, I don't care for the state laws. If he thinks like that, he is insane. He'll be forced to accept state laws in the prison house by the police. But if he thinks, he'll be forced to accept state laws in the prison house by the police. But he thinks, oh, I am a free man. He's being slapped by the police and he says, oh, I am independent. Go on slapping. This is insanity. Is it not insanity? The police slaps him and he says, I am independent. Do you think independence? So that sort of independence we are having. What? That we are being kicked by Maya always, and we are thinking independent. This is insanity. He does not think, why I am independent? I am the servant of my senses. I cannot remain enjoying senses for an hour. And I am thinking I am independent. That means insane. He cannot think properly. Where is his independence? He cannot be independent. He is born part and parcel of God. His constitutional position is dependent, just like a child. If a child declares independence, what is the meaning of that independence? Danger, that's all. Simply inviting dangers. A child wants, oh, I don't care for my parents, I shall cross the road, I shall go everywhere. So if he is allowed to do that, that means he is simply inviting dangers. And if he remains under the protection of the parents, he is always safe. So the living entity is declaring independence means he is insane. Different kinds of insanity. He cannot be independent. Let him think very deeply that it cannot be independent. He is thinking independent of God, but he is dependent on his sense pleasure. That's all. So this is Krishna consciousness, that best thing is This is Krishna consciousness. I am dependent, and let me remain dependent. Let me remain dependent on God, then I am protected. See, this is what Vritrasura was thinking. He was just feeling dependent on Lord, and he's feeling protected. Even death, he is protected. Because after death, he knows it's not an ordinary death. Why was he wanting to die? Because that weapon is not ordinary. It's the Lord's weapon. So he's thinking, okay, if Indra has that weapon and it's the Lord's weapon, then he can throw it, and then I cannot do anything. That's the Lord's desire. So then I am protected if I am dependent on the Lord. This is Krishna consciousness. That's all. And now Prabhupada says, everyone is thinking, oh, there are so many problems I have to solve. See, everyone thinks like this in the material world. Oh, I have got so many problems to solve. I have to make this, I have to do that, so many. But he has no problem. He has no problem. His only problem is how to accept Krishna. That's all. And Krishna is so kind, he says, yes, you accept me, simply chant Krishna, I am yours, that's all. But I am so misfortunate that I cannot chant even. All problems solved simply by chanting Krishna. Etadrashi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, O Krishna, you are so kind. You have come to me in the sound vibration, word, Krishna. I can very easily chant and you remain with me. But I am so misfortunate that I have no attraction even for this. So here we see something very similar. This is now the practical application from this Vritrasura story. Why Vritrasura is fearless? He knows that that weapon is a special weapon, it's the Lord's weapon, and if that touches me, I'm going back to Godhead. And that's why he is a devotee, not a demon. He knows that's the Lord's desire. In the same way, today we are so blessed, we also have this weapon of this Maha Mantra. It's a transcendental weapon of the Lord, and if we just allow this weapon to touch us, touching this weapon means chanting loudly, clearly, hearing attentively. If this weapon touches me, this is how it touches us. It has to go through the ear and then goes inside us. I can be completely cleansed and become perfectly liberated. I will become fearless, and this is the desire of the Lord. So we just have to accept this desire of the Lord wholeheartedly, nicely. Then there is no more fear. And we should have conviction that yes, this, just like you see, Indra has no conviction. Should I throw this trident? Vritrasura has conviction. In the same way, we must have, there is one place where should do is one should chant with firm faith and conviction that this chanting of the Harer Nama is so powerful. He gives so many examples to reaffirm this, to help us develop this faith, just like a raw mango. If you have a raw mango, and if you're patient, the raw mango will become ripe one day and you can taste the sweet, ripe mango. So the raw mango is there, we just have to patiently wait, and that patiently waiting is chanting as per the rules and regulations. Or like the child walking. The child walking will be falling so many times, but all that he needs to do is, he must not lose hope. He should not feel, oh, I'm falling so many times, let me not walk. No, he has to be patient, he has to go on walking, and he knows that one day, why? Because this walking is actually natural in a child. So similarly, we are not out here to get something very big, something very difficult. Chanting the holy name and Krishna Bhakti is something very natural to us. It is there inside us. It is something very easy. Something that is natural should be easy. Now the unnatural things have become easy for us. Meat eating, intoxication, gambling, this is not the natural functions of a human being. So if this unnatural functions of a human being has become so natural and we are so attached to it, imagine the actual natural should be very easy. It should not be difficult at all. For a child, it is very natural to love his parents. It is totally unnatural that he doesn't want to love that there is no love between child and the parent. So imagine, so this one simple thing, if the unnatural is so easy for us right now in this conditioned stage, how easy it will be to come back to our natural position. Because that is natural. A natural is easy position. Unnatural is difficult. So Krishna consciousness is something very, very, very simple, easy. It's just that we have to stick to the process very patiently, with full faith and conviction that this is the simplest process, the easiest process, and one day I will get delivered. And I must achieve it in this lifetime. That's why Shastra say, Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nam, Eva Kevalam. Look at the words of the scriptures. Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. Why are the scriptures speaking like this? Because this is what it is. Iha hoite sarva siddhi hoibe tumar. All kinds of perfection you will get simply by chanting the holy name. So when such is what the scriptures are saying, so much conviction scriptures are giving us, so many wonderful things scriptures are saying, why should I not have faith? And why should I not be very strict and sincere and hold on to this process very seriously? It is possible. We just need to be sincere and patiently go on with this process, having conviction that this will liberate me one day. So this is the conviction we see in Vritrasura, and that's why Prabhupada is saying that he is actually a Sura. So we'll end here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.